Hey everybody, welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. Today, you couldn't see that very well, but today's prompt is postcard. And so yeah. Again, another seemingly simple, well, it is a simple prompt. But for whatever reason, I kind of struggled with this one too. I think maybe because there's so many different directions you could take it. The It's not as clear cut. So anyway, I was scrolling through all of my scrolling. I was flipping through all of my, Christmas magazines that I had pulled out to kind of use for collage fodder and just inspiration, really. And I was really inspired by these. And there were postcard elements in them. They're not exactly Christmassy. And actually, in the end, you'll see that mine does not look anything like those at all. But I don't know. I had that epiphany, I guess, of this is going to help me get to where I want to go. And then here, those are stamps from around the world that tell the Christmas story, which were part of that vintage Christmas publication that I got from the library. I think I've mentioned it a time or two. This is the new Somerset Studios holiday book from 2025, from this year. I just picked that up. I was trying to resist, but we had to go to the Barnes and Nobles to get something for a gift for someone, and it sucked me in. I couldn't help myself. I bought that and another one. Spent a lot more on myself than I did on the gift. So anyway, and then there was a little picture of the cutest little boy putting something in the mail from that other digital kit. So I'll use that as well. And then I thought I want to get some kind of traditional Christmas colors in this spread as much as I can. So this is yet a different digital kit that I absolutely love. With these wonderful background pages for your junk journal. And so we've got some really pretty buffalo plaid here with a pine bow and just kind of messy art journal style background. So I'm going to use that on the right hand side. And then, I don't know, the other Somerset Studio from this year, that picture with the this picture here with the wooden ornaments of the homes kind of struck me. I thought it was kind of perfect. And then the next page said the title of whatever the article was. It was Home for the Holidays. And I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool connection. Maybe you're going to write a postcard to your loved one that you're going to be home for the holidays or whatever. And so that's kind of the thought that I had in my mind as I was putting this spread together. So at this point, I'm just kind of making sure I can get the picture to work on the page. So it's obviously too large, so we got to take away some of the extra. And then both sides of this one have a side pocket in the middle of the page. So I've gotten pretty good at continuing the image that I want to show, even though there is a pocket. So I'll show you how to do that. I mean, I did it on the right hand side already, but first I want to get this positioned correctly before I really do it. And then what you can't see is I'm lining up my ruler to where that pocket is going to start, and I'm giving it like 1/8 of an inch, and then I'm tearing away from there. So you'll see just a tiny bit of the book page when I glue that down. And then sometimes I put the image a little bit underneath that flap, and sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on the image. On this one, I felt like I could get away with doing that. I do like to do that because I want to create as little bit of a gap as possible. And if you put your image underneath the flap just a little bit, that creates less of a gap. So, all right, so I got that all measured, I guess. Well, not measured, but worked out. And so now I just need to ink around the edges and then glue them down. All right, so now I'm just gonna take that home for the holidays little sentiment out. I will fussy cut around the whole thing. Here for a split second, I wondered if I wanted to put one of those houses, make that into a tag, and put that maybe behind one of the flaps. But I ended up not doing that. It didn't work quite the way I would want it to for how this particular spread ended up. This spread got a little busy. I did some fun collaging, and you'll see that as we go. But yeah, so here there's a few elements I know I definitely want to incorporate, and this little boy with the mailbox is definitely part of it. I mean, in reality, he's probably sending a letter to Santa here, but we can pretend. I don't know. Or maybe he's sending a postcard to Santa. So I just went ahead and cut out all of my pieces of ephemera, and then I'll go ahead and ink around all that so it's all ready to go. So all I have to do then is collage with it. Okay, so this was the cutest little envelope as part of that digital kit, the little pieces of ephemera. And I thought I for sure have to include this on my page somehow. So here I'm just putting it together. It does take a little bit of time. It's a little bit fiddly, and of course, inking around all those edges. There's a lot of edges to ink around, but doing that really does add something to it. Unfortunately, the way it was constructed, it was hard to kind of glue it together this way because they just didn't reach the two sides, the two flaps on the side. But thankfully I was able, yeah, see here, you can see I'm not doing so good, but thankfully I was able to glue that to the two flaps, and that's all I needed. I'm going to leave that free, and I'm going to put that into a little tuck spot. So that'll be a fun little addition. So now it's just time for, what am I going to do? How am I going to figure out this collage? I got a lot of pieces going on here. There are elements on the page that I don't want to completely cover. And I want to use as much of those pieces as I can, though. So I'm just trying to think about all of these different things as I'm working here. All right, so I'm thinking about it, and I think I want to back this picture with something, and I grabbed this. It was the red pinstripe, but that was kind of fighting for me with the rest of the page design. And I love this green. It's a dark green background page. And I thought it would make a great background. Bring some of the green from the other side over onto the right-hand side. So I literally am just pasting that down, and then I'll use my ruler to tear away and leave just a little bit of a border. I did not measure this. I just kind of eyeballed it, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. So I'm actually going to extend that flap just a little bit, the pocket, and that way I don't have to cover quite as much of the bottom left of that flap, giving myself a little bit more room to collage with. And so also not completely covering that evergreen or pine bough branch. This is a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera. There were a few other pieces of Tim Holtz ephemera that I pulled out. This was from that same page of from that digital kit of the little pieces of ephemera. I think I used that for the little pocket that I put the envelope into in the end. And I've got so many of these really pretty stamps. They're all very religious. And that was another thing I was kind of struggling with here. I'm trying not to completely go religious on all these spreads. I really don't want to. Oh, I do use this as my my little pocket. So I guess I lied about that. So I was kind of struggling with that in a way also. I liked the back side of the envelope just a little bit better, and because I didn't glue it down, you can still see it. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and then I was gonna try to find a good stamp to put inside, something that'll kind of stand out a little bit. But yeah, like I was saying, these are all very religious stamps, and that's fine. It's just I didn't really want this whole spread to be religious. It doesn't need to be. And yeah, it's just a simple vintage Christmas spread is kind of what I was going for. And the home for the holidays kind of idea. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out where else to put all my ephemera that I have left. Thought that was a good spot for that little circle. It says 2 for 25 cents or 2 for 50 cents. I can't remember. Something from a long time ago. I don't have stuff that cheap anymore. Unfortunately. Pulled out some of that washi tape. Thought maybe that would work, but no, I decided immediately that I didn't want to add that. And now I have another problem where I have these two things that say beautiful memories, and then I also still have the home for the holidays, and those two things go together but also could fight with each other, taking up what's more important on the page. I think your eye is going to kind of bounce around all over the place on this one. There's not really a singular focal point, and that's fine, but I didn't want to create even more noise unnecessarily that way. So yeah, I also didn't want to completely cover both of the houses. I guess I couldn't. The one is on the flap, so it wouldn't be covered anyway, but I also wanted to make sure that postcard was visible so you could see the words postcard. I got it on both sides of the page now, and not both of them on the left side. So I'm kind of thinking about all these things at the same time here. Okay, so I decided, even though that piece, the holidays, was actually too long for that flap, that's the spot that I thought it worked the most in. So I went ahead and glued that down there, and that flap pocket's just going to be a little bit smaller than it would have normally been, which is fine. I really like how that looks down there, actually. It's kind of perfect. It blends in enough, but you can still very clearly see it. So I thought that worked pretty well. And then now I really got to figure out my stamps and which ones I want to use. I knew I wanted to do something up in the upper left there. There's obviously a spot for it. So I'm thinking about the colors. Here, that green stamp is an angel, and then the little one, the blue one under it, is the baby Jesus. So that would be fitting to have the angel looking down at the baby Jesus. How am I going to do that? I don't want to put orange on this page when I've got red elsewhere. That is more of a purpley red, that Mary stamp. I mean, all these things, right? I'm thinking about all these things, trying to keep to a color story of some kind. I decided to incorporate some blue, which actually looks really nice. I think it looks really nice. So some of those were like the 3 wise men, still that baby Jesus, and some of them I thought weren't as overtly obviously religious at first glance. Like you kind of had to look at them for a second to really understand what it was, the picture was, whereas some of them were very obviously, this is Mary or this is the baby Jesus, which is fine. It's just for this particular spread, that's not really what I was going for. So that was another thing I was kind of thinking about too. So, and then this special delivery. I'm trying to put so much on this page, and really I probably should have kept it more simple. But then I remembered I had this tag instead, and I really like it, and it has special delivery on it, and it filled that space wonderfully. So that was a winner right there. And then now it's just a matter of kind of filling in the rest of the spaces. Okay, so I'm okay with how it is for right now. I'm going to come back to that collage, I think, after I figure out what my journaling card is going to be for this page. For a minute, I considered that house ornament again, but I changed my mind and decided this other piece from that digital kit that I had used on the right hand side would be the perfect thing to put on the left hand side. Get a little bit more red, get a little bit more greenery in there, and yeah, so just testing out how big it is, and it's way too tall, so I need to chop it down a little bit. And then I was like, no, you need to use your ruler because I'll be mad if I make it crooked. So using my ruler, and I'm not really I'm not measuring at all. I'm just kind of winging it, kind of looking at the picture on there of the berries in the evergreen and kind of seeing how that'll look. Now it's too wide, so we got to take a little bit more off the side, and in the end, that's the size that I ended up with, and so it's fine. It works pretty well, actually. Kind of hides that house a little bit, but that's okay. So now I just need to back that with something, and then I will add my date and my number and call this one good. So here's a great opportunity if you have some scratch papers left over and they're all maybe tea dyed or all the same color or something. I do this often. You can easily write over these. I just kind of do a little patchwork of papers like this to cover for journaling cards and whatnot. So decided to go for that idea again here, and that should do it for this page. So yeah, this one was a little bit more complicated for sure, but I'm really pleased with how it ended up. I think it's a very sweet page, and kind of very traditional Christmas vibes to it. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it too, and I will see you all in the next video. All right, bye guys.